Hello everybody, my name is Antonio Bell and I am here today with you on my presentation about paying college tuition. Hope you like it. So first off, if you choose to attend college after high school, do you want to be stuck paying back student loans or even college tuition? Same thing, well kind of same thing, but let's let's move on to the next slide and then think about that throughout this presentation. All right, so the first thing we have is a goal. My goal today here with you all is to get you guys to understand how paying back student loans and paying college tuition isn't all that good. It's kind of a burden. And yeah, hope you guys understand that throughout this presentation. So next we have the agenda. First we're gonna talk about what is the college tuition, and then we're gonna talk about how college tuition is a burden, and then how college tuition has an effect on mental health, and then why does college tuition keep rising? So, our next slide, we have our bibliography. Sorry about that. So, my first source I used for frequently asked questions on College Board, and then my next one was more about different college tuitions that I want to use for a later slide, and then I had one that was about rising to why tuition is rising, and then another one, well the next two are about mental health, but the second one was a little more informational than the first one, and then my last one was also about the rising tuition and how it affected people or whatnot. Okay, so next on to our first point. What is college tuition? So basically, college tuition is what you pay when you're paying for your classes, really. And the college tuition can include the expenses of, well, living expenses of basically basic necessities, and that can include from your rooming to your food, the meal plans or whatnot. And basically, at different colleges, the tuition varies. So the first college I have listed right now is Davenport, which we're currently at right now, and tuition is around 1,800. And then at U of M for in-state, it's 1,400, but then out-of-state is 4,700. But then at GVSU, the tuition is 1,200 for in-state and then 1,700 for out-of-state. So as you can see, those numbers vary depending on the college. Alrighty, now that we understand what college tuition is, let's move to the next point. Alrighty, so why is college tuition a burden? College tuition can cause you to take out student loans, and no one wants to take out student loans. Student loans, if you're not paying them on time, they can add up and they can cause you to be in really, really bad debt. But, so in 2019, a total of student loan debt was $1.4 trillion in the US. That's a lot. And that's a lot for, that's just a lot, really. And also, paying student loans, it can also cause you to have multiple jobs. And you having multiple jobs, you won't focus directly on your schoolwork because you're trying to hurry up and get your life set up so you can pay off these student loans. And then another point is, basically, sometimes your career doesn't actually set you up to be able to pay off these student loans. You might not make enough at your new job or career after college. And also, well, in some cases, oh yeah, I already said that. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, also, some people might choose to not go to college because of student loans. So that can also be a burden because you actually want to go to college, but you can't pay for it, can't afford it. Alrighty. So after we talked about the burdens and how they affect, well, the brains and how they actually affect someone, let's move on to the effects on mental health, something that's really important these days, something that almost everyone can relate to. Alrighty, so first off, students who go in debt or try to pay off their student loans or college tuition, that can make them feel pressure, and that pressure can lead to anxiety, which long-term anxiety can also lead to depression. And if you know, so the American College Health Association found out that students are becoming more angrier because they're focused on actually trying to do their schoolwork, and if something doesn't go right, they end up thinking that well, I'm just gonna be stuck paying off college tuition and I won't actually get this degree. It's gonna be hard. Okay, so then there's also, in the past 8 years, there's also been an increase in suicide and self-harm due to the pressure of actually going to school and eventually them thinking about, yeah, I'm going to have to pay this off one day, and it's gonna be a lot. And then the most common health disorders that comes with this is anxiety, depression, and stress, which most people, they can feel. We can relate to that, even if it is something that's going to a regular high school or whatever. And let's move on to our last point. So, so why college tuition is on the rise? So basically, college tuition is on the rise because basically, as you know, as we go later in the years, Medicare is, we're gonna need extra funds for Medicare. And basically, those public funds are going to that and in other important things that people believe instead of rising tuition. I'm sorry, instead of to like colleges. So this caused them to rise the tuition and all that because they don't have another source of income. Another one is students are taking longer to graduate, so more adults are starting to go to college too. And also traditional expenses. Expenses, things that you experience on the campus, so sports, clubs, having the dorms, and you can also include other fees with this. So books, labs, library, technology fees. It's a lot of fees and they all add up. So we have finally come to the end of this presentation, and I hope you guys see how these problems can be, well, paying college tuition can be problematic. Like, it can really actually harm someone. And yeah, so here's my recap. So we went over what is college tuition, how college tuition is a burden, how college tuition affects mental health, and then we talked about why does college tuition keep rising. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you guys can see why college tuition isn't all that good and why we shouldn't have to pay for learning. Thank you, and have a nice day.